This is the one. This is the one that I'll be remembered for.
That's right. We watched Ed Wood this week on The Movie Gap, the podcast that has you scream. How have you not seen that? 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 Little darling, how have you not seen this? Welcome to this week's episode of The Movie Gap. I am your host, Chase Austin, and as always, the mistress of evil that sues Elvira for copyright infringement. To my left, Bryce Perkins.
I got a little dick. It's pathetic.
It's my new intro, baby.
There you go. Every time.
That's my
your new
wrestling
one.
theme.
That's your wrestling
That's what I
thing.
enter the arena to. Just that. No music. And it does that, just that one bit as soon as I walk outside. So the rest
There's
of the
it.
ring, walking to the ring, dead silence.
Or this.
Oh, anticlimax.
Yep.
Manny, look at it. Pelican fly. Come on, Pelican.
Just on loop.
That's what that's just what the audience cheers. Like, that's your cheer.
Straight up.
Ric Flair has his woo, and you
Yeah.
have your, come on, Pelicans.
Yeah. Come on. No, it's the whole thing.
Look at the Pelican
Yeah,
fly,
so-
Benny. Come
so
on,
if,
Pelican.
If Josh Reddick became a fan of me, every time he walked up to the plate, it would just be random people. Look at the pelican fly! Come on, look at the look at the. It'd be like the most obnoxious
And
fucking
he would just
thing.
like hit one out of the park, point at it, and be like, "I got a little dick. It's pathetic."
Oh, we did it!
Oh, we did
You're
it.
welcome, Astros. You
Well, we
knew.
are trying a new thing out
Yes,
today.
this
with
week, the first week.
the first time that we are recording video. So bear with us on the quality of the video. We're working on getting some
We are
things.
getting
I just
there.
noticed now that
The more support we have, the more the quality will go up.
everything
Yeah.
goes up. And I did just notice that we have a lot of reflective surfaces on the wall that we chose to.
That's all right. It
We're
looks
all
like. I mean, can you see our lights? Yes.
Yeah.
But also, does it kind of look like something from a Spielberg movie? Yes.
Yeah.
So
Sort
it
of.
kind of it fits the theme.
Yeah.
I think.
What's that? Arpeggio. Doo, doo. What is the?
Oh yeah, is that third kind or whatever?
yeah. Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Yeah.
Oh, my wife got my text message.
I haven't. Whoa, what does
The
that
AC
mean?
just kicked on.
Oh, good. Yeah. Thank goodness for that. I haven't seen that one, so that.
Oh, really?
needs to-
I
yeah.
just saw that for
Nor
the
have
first
I
time.
seen Jaws.
Like 6 weeks ago. Yeah.
Nor
Well,
have I
we'll have to
seen
do both of
Jaws.
those. Ooh, Jaws is a good one to put on the list very soon because it's summer.
Yes.
So
it
maybe
is.
after
Okay.
our
We'll do it next
anniversary
week.
episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. After that, which that's coming up as well. It'll be coming up after this in a couple
2
weeks,
more.
right?
Yeah, we have 2 more. This
So-
one and the next one.
We have a bunch of special guests for that, and it'll be interesting trying to get them all on video.
Yeah, that'll
but
be.
We'll make it happen.
I have 2 weeks to make that work. So
Yeah,
I will figure it
We'll
out.
figure it out. We'll
I'll
get
figure
some
it out.
extra cameras working if
Yeah.
we need to. All right, great. But for now, 1 camera, 2 guys.
Yeah, so
Y'all
that
seen
helps
that
on
porn?
the editing aspect of it for
that's
sure.
right. That's right.
So, Bryce,
Yes.
before we get started on Ed Wood,
Uh-huh.
which I want to get into, there's a lot to talk about there.
Yeah.
How you been, man? This is the first time. That's the other thing. This is the
Yes.
first time we've been in person recording since
We're back.
the stay-at-home orders were issued.
We're back.
We are back. We're back in the saddle again. Back and black. So,
That was AC/DC.
it's so nice to be here. It's a better energy. I feel connected to you. We have
Doing
not
it
we
in
have not
person.
touched. We have not touched.
We've not touched or breathed in each other's.
except for being stuck
vicinity.
in this hot room.
Yeah.
And we're definitely, I mean, we might be 6 feet apart if I like lean.
I think we are. Don't believe the camera angle. It
Yeah.
looks closer.
Yeah. I am actually 8 feet tall.
Yeah. And
just
actually,
realized-
what this is one of those funhouse rooms where someone looks bigger
Well,
than the
it
other,
does.
and it looks
with
closer than it actually is.
The angle of the thing. I mean, also, like, look how
We're
big-
actually 20 yards apart
I
right
love
now.
this setup and how comfortable we are not being on camera because now our hands leaning over our microphones look real big.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, it's the fucking
Yeah, that's the movie gap pose right there.
So if you're one of those that only listens to the podcast, we get it. But listen, we got extra juice and content for you on YouTube's.
So check us out.
Check us out there.
Probably, maybe we should have done this before we started recording. Probably YouTube the movie gap.
Yeah,
I'm assuming that's open. So
hoping
I might have already
that'll
made
be
that
open.
when we started this. I think I got,
Well, you have the Google account, so that's they're connected.
yeah, I have the Gmail.
Yeah, so it's connected.
All right. Well, anyway,
Yeah.
So let's before we get into it again, how you
Yeah.
been, man? This is like again the first time I've seen you in a long time.
I've been good. I've been out, while we've been socially distancing. We've been trying, me and my brothers with the Jehovah's Witness have been trying to.
No. I thought we got rid of that.
No, I went back, and trust me, it's been the most fulfilling thing in my life, trying to get people, with social distancing. I realized there have been too many people that have been socially distancing their hearts
from God,
from Jesus's heart, from Jehovah's heart, for far too long, and it's time to reduce that gap.
Since I'm not an expert on Jehovah's Witness and you are,
Now I am, yes.
are they a Jesus group or is it a different thing?
They believe in Jesus.
Do they?
I hope so, because that's what my handler, has been preaching to me. I call him my handler.
And how are they different from Mormons?
Well, I think there's less of them. Yeah. I think that's the only difference.
The biggest teaching difference.
I think
is that
that's
there's
the only
just
difference.
less of them.
And it was like the first sermon that I heard was like they did their prayer, and at the end of it they go, "And let us not forget there are less of us than there are Mormons. Blessed are we." It's something that's like it's like their pride. They're proud of that.
They're proud of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they go there, they know the Mormon number, and they're not allowed to recruit past that.
Well, at the risk of losing all of our Jehovah's Witness and Mormon fan base, let's move on.
I doubt we have any.
Probably
I feel
not.
pretty safe here.
It's probably right around the same size fan base that we have the Mennonites.
Yes,
Yeah.
or just fan base in general.
All right.
Okay.
So anyway, let's get into this movie.
Okay.
Ed Wood, we've been talking about this one for a while. I don't think on the
We have
podcast
been talking
as
about
much.
doing it for a long
Yeah.
time.
So what did you know about it going in, and why was this one that you just never saw?
What I knew about it going in, I knew Johnny Depp, I knew Tim Burton, and I knew that my dad didn't care for it.
Okay, so you knew you were aware of this movie before we started talking about it on the movie gap.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I remember like seeing it and always having an interest in watching it, even from like when I first heard of it when I was like maybe 10 or 11 years old.
Yeah.
And being like, oh, Johnny Depp, which at that time I didn't really know, but I knew that he was a big movie star, and I was like,
yeah. So
I was like, why is it black and white? I was intrigued by that. And also, who is Ed Wood?
That was something that always got me as a kid. I mean, I did not see this until I was much older. But like that's something that always, confused me as a kid, is when a movie would be black and white that wasn't old, because you think,
Right.
when you're a kid, because like I remember,
Young Frankenstein.
Young Frankenstein was a big one where I was like, how is this movie black and white with all these actors?
And then you ask your dad, you're like, oh, this was made in the 50s, and they're like, no, this is like 1978. And you're
which
like,
also
why
made
did
me
they
think,
do that?
Yeah, then I thought like all 78 movies were in black and white. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, kids, they're fucking dumb.
Stupid
so
pieces
stupid.
of shit.
Such stupid pieces of shit.
Fuck kids.
You know what? I think we should take away their right to vote.
I think so too. I
don't
don't think
think
that
they
they
should
should be
have it.
allowed to vote until they're 18. I'm just going to go ahead and say
Yeah.
it. I don't think children should be allowed to vote until they're 18. Okay? Call me crazy. All right?
This was, this was, when did Ed Wood come out? Okay, so this was before Batman Forever, but after Returns. Oh, he was only a producer on Forever. That was the third one.
Well, I didn't realize
yeah.
it was a series. I was annoyed by how long it took me to watch.
What do you mean?
I thought we were just doing movies, and I find this series on HBO, and it's been canceled for a while. I think it's like 3 seasons of something I had to watch just to do one episode.
Deadwood. Oh no, we didn't. We weren't.
No, that's
supposed
what
to
we
watch
watched,
Deadwood.
right?
No,
that's what I thought you said.
No, we were supposed to watch.
I'm just
Ed
kidding.
Wood.
That was a retcon joke because I already acknowledged that I knew this movie.
You might
had
say
Johnny
that was
Depp in
a.
it.
You might say that was a.
Hack moment. It's the hack moment.
There it is.
Hack moment. It's the hack moment. Yeah.
All right, yeah. So I did have a hack moment then.
Yeah, you did.
I guess.
You got it. You got
I
it
just
in there.
forgot it was hack. I thought it was actually good.
Yeah. So when was okay? So this was 94. Okay. Yeah. Batman Returns was 92, and Edward Scissorhands was 90. So, Burton was well established by this point.
Well, and it was just interesting to see that they made a sequel for Ed Wood Scissorhands. No, it doesn't.
Nope.
It doesn't.
It was close.
Work.
Maybe if you had thought
work.
about it.
Yeah.
All right. So,
Oops.
Hack moment.
All right,
It's the hack moment.
Pause it.
Hack moment. It's the hack moment. Yeah.
All right, 2 hack moments.
There you go.
In one. Two for one.
2 for 1.
All right.
That's a good sale.
Yep. It is a good sale. And it's a good sign that I haven't driven you crazy yet.
No, it's been so long that
You welcome it back with open arms.
yeah, I've been so parched. It's like
you didn't
a
realize
desert.
how much you needed it.
No, yeah. I was just in a desert of not being annoyed.
Yeah, good.
That I was just like, I need this oasis. This,
I'm glad to bring back my reign of annoyance.
yeah. Oh, it's refreshing to say the least.
Good. That's my goal.
Speaking of refreshing, my sponsor that is not a sponsor, Solil.
Oh,
You're trying the new one. This one has
with caffeine. Genius.
I love these.
Genius invention, caffeinated water.
I'm addicted to Solil.
I don't know why we didn't think of this earlier in our existence of human beings.
I know when I saw that, you know me, I've been a big fan of Solil for about 2 years now.
Right.
And when I saw that they had some with caffeine in it, I lost my shit.
Yeah.
I was so excited.
Dude, you saw how happy I was when you showed it to me. You're like, this
Yeah.
has caffeine in it. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. All right. Well, enough about Solil. Not an
Yeah.
ad. Hashtag not an ad. Unless you want it to be
Unless
Solil.
you want it to be Solil.
Come on, Signature Select.
We'll take your money, Randalls.
Yeah. Or free Solils. No, I'm not going to lie.
I'll take the money.
Yeah. Okay. So let's get into it.
All right. Yeah, let's. Well, okay, so that's another thing as far as like the reason why I never seen the movie is because I asked my dad about it and I was like, "Oh, this movie has Johnny Depp, but it's black and white. What's up with that?"
Yeah.
And he was like, and I also remember being like asking him like, "Who the fuck is Ed Wood?"
Uh-huh.
And he explained like, "Oh, he was this like director that made shitty movies and became famous for making terrible movies." And I asked him, I was like, "Oh, well, is that movie any good?" And he was just so like meh about it that I just never went back and looked into it. So that's the main reason is my dad's disinterest. I was just like, well, whatever. I'll watch other things.
Yeah, it's this. I've met your dad, and this does not seem like one that would be like high on his list.
He loves Tim Burton and shit too.
Yeah.
He just forever. I think he probably was annoyed by Johnny Depp in it,
I could see that.
which I can see that.
Yeah.
I personally am not, but I can see how it's a weird direction. But we'll talk about that.
Yeah, watching this movie, I watched it with my wife. She had never seen it. My wife. Mi esposa. I was watching it with her, and she was like, I mean, she wanted to like it, and I could tell that she was kind of into it, but like she kept falling out of it. And she said it 100%. It was she's just tired of Johnny Depp. She just hates Johnny Depp.
She's done with Johnny.
Yeah.
She's done with Depp.
Yeah, and this is him.
Whoa,
being,
we need an alert sound for that. This is breaking fucking news. So she's done with Depp.
done with Depp.
Why? Like totally.
Yeah.
Not just she didn't just get tired of him in this movie.
No,
She's just tired of him.
She's never. I don't think she's ever really liked him.
What's her reasoning?
She doesn't think he's good.
Ooh. See, that's a good topic of conversation there.
Yeah.
Is Johnny Depp good?
I think he's great.
I think he's great too.
I think he hasn't done
Sometimes.
anything, in a while.
I think that
I
think he's great.
done a lot of drugs,
and
so that's what he's been doing lately.
He can either. All right, we don't know that.
Allegedly.
Okay. But I think he's great, but he can also. I feel like there are just moments, or depending on the director he's working with, Tim Burton.
Yeah.
Some directors will allow him to kind of, or not give him enough guidance, or guide him in the wrong way to where it doesn't
too much.
It doesn't come off, But anyway, I think he's great too, and I think he did great in this movie.
Yeah, I
think it's a weird. It had to have been a weird directing from Tim Burton on how he wanted the character to be.
Yeah,
because there's no fucking way the real Ed Wood was like, well, there's no fucking way.
he was very similar to that, according to his wife, his wife that he had when he died. Let me see what her name was.
Kathy Wood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She even came on set one day, and she wanted to visit the set and meet Johnny Depp, and Burton was like, "Oh, this day's probably not good because he's looking disheveled." It was just a scene where he looked really messed up, and Burton was nervous about it. And then when Depp stepped out of the trailer or whatever, looking like that, she just said, "That's my Eddie." So he looked and sounded like him. But that's one thing that they don't go into in this movie is that Ed Wood was he died of alcoholism.
Right.
He drank himself to death.
Right.
So he was a mess.
Yeah.
A lot of things. He had a lot of demons that he ended up dealing with,
right,
or not dealing with.
Right.
So they don't really get into that because that came a little later in life.
Yeah. After Plan 9.
Yeah.
Apparently
that's because Dolores. Dolores Fuller.
Dolores.
She has disputed her depiction in the movie because she did help him raise money for Glenn and Glenda. She was.
She didn't like her. She didn't agree.
She helped him pick out wardrobe, including some of her own clothes and everything. She was very supportive of everything. She was
supportive of his transvestitism.
Yeah, and she was.
They made it seem like she wasn't at all.
Yeah, and they made it seem like she hated all the weird people and everything like that.
Yeah.
She's like, no, I left him because he was an alcoholic.
Oh fuck.
Yeah. So, but again, the Ed
Wood. You got to
to
drama it up though.
Yeah. Well, in the Ed Wood character that we are seeing in this movie depicted is the Ed Wood that Ed Wood spoke of. This is based off of.
So it is sort of a caricature, but of his own design.
Yeah, he's got that.
Well, then see, I like it a lot. That makes me like it even more.
Yeah, he's got that blind optimism. And that's what.
Yeah. Which Depp does a great job of depicting.
Yeah. In fact, Depp said his characterization of it was a mixture of the blind optimism of Ronald Reagan, the enthusiasm of the Tin Man from The Wizard of Oz, and Casey Kasem. So, but the writing of the script, when Burton got attached, they started rewriting it. He has a writer that comes with him on all his movies and stuff. I don't know if it's always the same one, but he always brings somebody in to rewrite it the way he kind of wants it. He's very auteur in that way.
Well,
he does
this
it
lady
right.
There was the Van. What was her name?
What?
The other person that was credited, because it wasn't just a Burton film. It was a Burton and D Nice or something.
Well, I know V Neal was makeup. She's makeup. Her and Rick Baker both won the Oscar for this movie.
Oh, those were the Oscars that it won. Was best makeup and best supporting makeup. What was that?
Oh, best supporting actor. Bela Lugosi. Martin Landau.
Really, he won for that. All right, we'll get into him later.
So anyway, this was Rudolph Gray wrote the book that Scott Alexander, who wrote the movie, based the movie off of. And the book that Rudolph Gray wrote is based off of first-person stories from Ed Wood himself. So about making these movies and about his life at the time, and being friends with Bela Lugosi and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So the way he spoke and was written, and there's also letters and stuff that he was writing to people that were used to make scenes and things like that they have that super optimism, like he thinks he is making Citizen Kane all the time.
Right.
So he wanted to make a movie that showed the crappy movies that he was making, but he never sees it that way.
Right.
And he never sees himself that way, So that's why it does have that caricature that Johnny Depp does play.
Well, that makes sense. And it makes me like it even more.
Yeah.
That there was actual purpose
that's why he
behind
pushed for it to be black and white.
Oh,
That's
so that
why
it was
Burton-
like truly from.
because it was originally going to be directed by the guy who ended up directing Airheads.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah. So he
Wow.
got kicked off this project.
So it was
or he-
really supposed to be a comedy.
yeah,
Okay.
more or less, or something. I guess I don't know.
Because there was a lot
But
of
then-
funny ass moments. in
Yeah,
it.
and then so Burton basically left. They got it taken away from the studio that it was in, and he kept shopping it around until Touchstone got it.
Okay. Well, you would think that any studio would be down to grab that up with Tim Burton's name on
I
it
mean,
at that time.
Yeah, but this is a weird movie. It's not a you look at this movie, it doesn't
And it's
scream,
about a shitty director. But it's got
Yeah,
Johnny Depp.
It screams like it could get awards.
Johnny Depp and Tim Burton?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
COVID.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I had a piece of ice go down my throat. Sorry.
That's what they all say, Chase.
Yeah. But yeah, this was an award movie. It wasn't a big budget movie. Like, it wasn't going to make a ton of money. But yeah. So anyway, Touchstone ended up buying, which we all know is owned by Disney. So
Oh, is it?
yeah.
So why isn't
that's
Ed Wood
Disney's
on
not
Disney Plus?
Because it's not their. I don't know if they still own the rights to put it out or anything. This movie does have a
Why do
weird-
we all know that Disney owns Touchstone?
because of watching movies as a kid. It's got the Touchstone logo is like the Disney fucking castle.
Oh. I guess I gotta
Yeah,
see it
Touchstone
again.
is just the
Wait, isn't Touchstone Seinfeld too?
no.
Isn't
That
it part
is-
of it?
Castle Rock.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Rob Reiner's thing.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Seinfeld, we got ourselves some connections
Oh yeah.
to Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Not to mention that this movie was actually, or one of Ed Wood's movies was actually
The base
talked about
Yeah.
in a Seinfeld
The big one.
episode.
Plan 9 from
Plan
Outer
9 from Outer
Space.
Space. Not
Not
plans
Plan
1 through 8.
The one that worked. Plan 9.
Yeah, anyway. Yeah, so lots of, it all comes back to Seinfeld. So, and for those of you who haven't caught on, we got an uncanny way of bringing every episode, every
To
movie we
be
talk about to
Seinfeld, yeah.
Seinfeld. It's
But yeah, one of the other reasons that they wanted, like, supposedly.
Yeah.
Supposedly.
mhm. I was gonna let that one
Yeah,
go.
no, I wasn't. I wasn't.
I was just gonna let you hang on that
Yeah.
one.
Supposedly,
Hang out there.
this one of the reasons that the producers wanted to do this in black and white is because they couldn't figure out how to make Bela Lugosi look on color film.
Because he never was.
Yeah. So, Rick Baker was, I know he was worried about trying to make trying to make Martin Landau look like Bela Lugosi, and he ended up taking the job specifically because he knew other makeup artists would go too far,
Mm-hmm.
and it would become like a caricature. And it not only, and it looks great. He won the Oscar for it.
Yeah.
But then Bela Lugosi's performance in this, we'll get to it.
Martin Landau.
Yeah, Martin Landau's performance as Bela Lugosi
Yeah,
is
but see,
not a caricature either.
It was so good though that you said Bela
Bela
Lugosi,
Lugosi,
like
yeah.
and that's how I felt the whole time. I
Yeah.
felt like, I mean, not that neither of us obviously grew up watching
No.
Bela Lugosi, but
I mean, I've seen I've seen Dracula and a bunch of those old horror films.
I haven't seen none of that shit.
I'm sure.
Well, I guess we can do an episode on it.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, Dracula's great. Frankenstein's fun. That wasn't him famously in this movie. He shits all over it.
Yeah.
Although he did end up playing Frankenstein.
Well,
in
that
one of the-
brings up one of my favorite moments of this movie where he realizes he has to get in the water and fight the octopus.
Yeah.
And he gets so distraught by and so depressed by it that he just stands there and laments how he turned down Frankenstein
Yeah.
because he thought it was below him.
And he's just
and then now
in the middle of the
he's like,
night.
now look at me, 4 in the fucking morning. That was so fucking funny,
Oh,
dude.
man.
There was a lot of moments where I was just laughing, like when he, dude. The fucking every shot he did when Lugosi was talking to Tor Johnson on the first time Tor Johnson, the first day of him shooting Bride of the Atom, he's behind the set before they're about to shoot, and Lugosi's like, most directors they only do like 1 or 2 scenes a day. Eddie can do 20 or 30. He's great. And then he goes and does it, and everything is one take.
Yeah, especially Tor slamming into the wall, and they go,
Cut.
Ed,
Perfect.
print, like,
Print.
Ed, he hit the door. Yeah, hey, this is a problem he has to deal with his
Yeah,
entire life.
his
He's
entire
always
life.
hitting doors.
It's
But
real. Yeah.
But you don't do that.
Yeah.
And a real door would not shake the whole wall.
Right. It's honestly.
So
like,
have you? That's the big question. Have you ever seen Plan 9?
No.
Okay.
I haven't seen any Ed Wood movies.
So watching this movie,
Have you seen them?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Now watching, I've seen Plan 9. I've seen.
Glenn or Glenda is probably your favorite.
No,
movie.
I have not. I've not ever seen Glenn or Glenda. I've seen Plan 9, and I saw Monsters of Go-Go. I think it's called.
Oh.
It's one of his.
Titty ones.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And like I've seen clips of other ones, but Plan 9 is the one that everybody watches, and they're all fucking unwatchable. I mean, they are it's so bad. It's,
really?
Yeah. If you
It's,
watch,
like, hard to get
it's
through?
fun. It's a lot more fun. I mean, if you're watching it, like Jerry says, I don't want to go see a bad movie by myself. I'm
Yeah.
going to make sarcastic comments to.
Yeah.
You need that, you know?
Yeah.
It's like watching The Room by yourself.
Right.
It's
right.
rough.
It sucks.
Yeah.
Unless
So-
you're laughing with someone.
Yeah.
Like it's the whole Mystery Science Theater, which
yeah.
I'm sure
and
they did a
the
lot
Mystery
of Ed Wood
Science
movies.
Theater of his movies and stuff, which is how I've seen most of them,
Yeah.
including this one. They're fun.
Yeah.
You know, or if you're watching it with a group of friends and you're all just shitting on it, like that's
Yeah.
kind of fun too. But I still respect what he did in a way of like he didn't know he was making a bad movie. He thought he was making a good movie, so it's kind of fun. It's very similar to so watching this movie without having seen Plan 9 is similar to like when we went and saw Disaster Artist, talking about bad movies.
Yeah.
And my wife went with us and she had never seen The Room. So it was more, you know.
Yeah, that's right. I
Now
forgot.
this is less
She was
about
lost as
yeah,
fuck during
and this
that.
is less about specifically shooting that movie. Whereas I think Disaster Artist, you kind of need to see it,
Yeah.
you know, because there's so many famous scenes that are going on, like you don't really understand.
Right.
And then after you have seen The Room, you're like, oh, there's nothing to understand.
Right.
So,
right.
but
right.
but with this one, I mean, man, there are some things that they capture perfectly, like hitting the door, you know, the bad effects. One of my favorite things in Plan 9 that's terrible are the two fucking cops that they were in this movie.
Yeah.
And they do it. They do the scene where the cops are in the graveyard looking around, and one of them scratches his head
With his
the gun. And they put it in this movie too. But like, so I had not like when I saw this, I hadn't seen Plan 9. When I did see Plan 9, and then the guy scratched, I was like, why? What?
Yeah. What do you?
Who does? Like, no,
You're a
there's
cop,
just
too.
nothing.
Yeah,
and they're
yeah.
all like, it's one thing you'd expect is like they'd have their fingers on the trigger at all
Yeah.
times. Like
Yeah.
people that don't know about guns, like you don't walk around with your finger on the trigger because you're going to shoot yourself.
Yeah.
But much less that, and then scratching your
Yeah,
own head
yeah,
with
yeah.
it. Yeah, it's so there's a lot of that kind of stuff.
Well, and that scene of Tor trying to get out of the grave as an undead person, and he
and they
can't.
all have to help him.
Yeah, they have to, and like when they show the actual thing, that's what it looks like, except they cut out the part where the cops came and helped him up.
Yeah.
So it's like he's sitting there struggling for like a good 15 seconds, and then you just see him upright, and then, you know, and it's like, yeah. But I mean, I kind of like what you were saying about like, you know, you respect him. I kind of feel like I feel like I do too. Like as an artist, that was just really just about making the art itself.
Yeah, it really
and
wasn't
not
about
the
making money.
nuance of,
Yeah,
of
he thought he was making artistic film.
right, and in a way
he
he
cared.
was by doing that. I mean, it seems like he had like that whole idea of him being like, no, that's something that he would go through every day.
Yeah.
So
He justified it.
yeah, he justified it like that. But it's like that sort of realism didn't come into movies until the 80s and 90s and that kind of shit.
Well, but there's also a difference between realism and like putting the realism in a movie and showing it cinematically and just having a bad thing happen that doesn't work. And I think
Well, so that's the thing. It's like he had the idea,
Yeah,
but
he
he
has-
didn't have the execution.
he had the vision.
Right.
He had the
right.
vision. He had the passion.
Right.
He just had no talent.
No technique.
Yeah, there was nothing there. He didn't know how
so
to
much
shoot.
so
Yeah.
that he didn't give a fuck that the dude shook the entire set and broke the fourth wall.
Well, it's like,
He was like, "No, it's okay."
and it's it's like when he's looking at all
It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, well, and when he's looking at all the not raw footage, stock footage at that beginning.
Yeah.
And he's like fascinated. He's just fascinated by film.
Right.
And he sees these things and he's like, I could make a movie out of just stock
Just
footage.
this, yeah,
which
yeah.
kind of does.
Right.
And if you are you familiar with Trauma Films?
No.
Trauma is I don't know if they're still around, they probably are. They are a studio that makes really bad, like really schlocky, this kind of movie. The famous one is Toxic Avenger or Sergeant Kabuki Man NYPD. They have a whole Romeo and Juliet. Anyway, they're just real schlock. You've never heard of the Toxic Avenger, really?
No.
Okay.
What is this from, like the 70s or some shit?
80s and 90s.
Is it grinding
they hit
house
their
stuff?
They hit their boom with HBO being able to sell movies directly to cable to be shown, and then they really hit their stride with VHS.
Oh, okay.
Being able, so just bypassing theaters altogether, making these terrible movies. But one thing that they do a lot in those movies is like what Ed Wood does is they bought stock footage and they would just make a script out of footage that they had that would match. Like if
Oh, wow.
yeah, like
Out
they
of
had
B-roll?
enough. Like one of the things that Troma does is they had enough money to do a car flip in one time.
Uh-huh.
So then in every Troma film, there would always be a green car. And you knew when you saw a green car, you're like, that car's going to flip. And it flips in every movie. It's the same car chase, and then it flips.
That's pretty funny.
You know, and like sometimes it'll land, and like they'll cut to just like it crushing a melon. That like they crush a lot of melons because they crush heads.
Yeah.
So they, you know, but anyway, it's all that very B. Roger Corman is another famous B movie director that did this kind of stuff. And that's what, you know,
But that's
they did
all
on
done
the
with
cheap.
the intent to be bad, right?
No, not like, okay, Troma, yeah, they do, you know, not.
Like they're in on the joke. They're like,
yeah,
isn't this
sort of
hilarious how
campy,
bad
yeah.
this is?
But
with Ed, it's just such a purity.
And Robert Corman was the same way. It was not, he's trying to make, his movies are much more watchable. But it wasn't that you're trying to make a bad movie. You're trying to make a movie fast, cheap. In fact, he famously did a movie in 48 hours. That's 2 days if you're counting. That movie is the original Little Shop of Horrors. The one,
from the 50s?
For the 50s, yeah. That was Roger Corman.
Wow.
He, on a bet, they said, he's like, I could make a movie in a week. They're like, no, you couldn't. He goes, I bet I could make it in 2 days. They're like, okay, do it. And he did.
And it
was
sucks?
the original. No, it's watchable.
Wow, he picked that movie, too. That's like not
that's
an
what it
easy
was written.
movie to do.
That was what it was written for.
He wrote it?
Yeah.
He wrote it?
And then they found
shot it?
That became the musical that was on stage. That then became the Rick Moranis movie.
Oh, wow. So wait, he wrote it and shot it all in 48 hours.
I don't think he wrote it in 48 hours.
Okay,
but they wrote it. He's like, I'm going to write a movie that I could do in 2 days. Did it.
Yeah.
You know,
Wow,
and he's done a ton of movies. And those are, you know, the B movies, which even at that time weren't really B movies. This stuff that Ed Wood was doing were. And a B movie was the movie that they would show along with a real movie, or quote unquote real movie, at like a drive-in.
Oh. So they would show up before the
sort of like a
feature?
No, after it. Before it, yeah.
If you want
it would
to
be a double
around.
feature of something.
Oh.
So
that's interesting.
Yeah, and like, you know, it's like the guy that Ed Wood talks to at the beginning, they had already sold this movie to be shown at all these different theaters based on a poster. They didn't even have a script.
Right.
You know?
And
so like that's just how it worked back then.
It's like the poster says I changed my sex.
Yeah.
It's like, well, change
the poster.
Apparently they didn't take that off the poster.
No.
I googled that.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's hilarious though. Yeah, his like working with George Weiss, that was all very funny. George Weiss from Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
The same guy. What's his name?
I don't remember.
Robert Mintz or something.
We thought. I remember when we were talking about Danny Aiello, we thought it was.
It was him, but it's not.
It's very not.
Yeah, very much not. Well, let's go ahead and get into. Okay, well, let's go down some notes here because we've done a lot of talking.
Yeah, we've jumped around it.
We jumped around, but you know,
Mike Starr is his name.
Mike Starr, yeah, that's it. So I had a little bit of a notes journey.
All right.
It was pretty long too. I saw Martin Landau was in this movie, and I thought, man, who's Martin Landau? And I was watching a scene with Ed Wood and Bela Lugosi, and I was like, man, which person in this movie is Martin Landau? And then I did the Amazon thing, and I was like, oh, that's Bela Lugosi. So that's the end of my notes journey there. That ended pretty quick. But yeah, there was fucking Bill Murray. You know, I didn't know that he was in it.
Yeah, and that part, what is his name? John Breckenridge. Originally, like, was not a very big part, had very little dialogue, and then once Bill Murray became attached,
Breckenridge. Yeah.
I think his given name was John.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. like his man, because he wanted to become a woman.
I just assumed that that's what his mother named him.
Yeah. Well,
Bunny.
anyway, Bunny Breckenridge. It was originally had very little dialogue, and when it was given to Bill Murray, it expanded, and then a lot of it was just Bill being Bill,
Right.
like getting into that character
like him
and doing
going,
it.
"Goodbye, penis."
I'm sure.
It was fucking
Yeah,
funny.
and
That was
just
so
talking
Bill
about
Murray,
like
dude,
I went
so
to
dry.
Mexico, and
Yeah.
well, it turned out he was a hack, and then,
Yeah.
but I met these guys.
But yeah.
So, but yeah, I loved his character.
Yeah, he did great.
And there's
He
just a
crushed
lot
it.
of those, like, especially for 1950s, just, freaks is what
Yeah.
they would be,
Right,
but
right.
nobody is treated that way, and nobody comes off that way. Even in the film, the people outside of it might think so. But
looking in.
it
yeah.
all just seems so natural in this,
in this little clique.
Even when they're, like, sitting in that, the wrestling fight, and he's, like, amongst all these, like, real rough-looking wrestling fans, and he's just talking about going to Mexico to get a sex change.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah.
By the way, speaking of the wrestling, Tor was played by George the Animal Steel, who's a professional wrestler.
A real wrestler.
Yeah.
Yep.
Actually, just passed away not too long ago, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, R.I.P. Less famous than... Get that shit. What the fuck?
What? I went over there.
You
sneezed
fucker.
over there.
All right.
And sneezing is not part of the COVID, okay?
Yeah, it is. I'm
No, it's
fucking
not.
spraying your ass.
It's all over
We got
there.
it's over there. But anyway, yeah, not as famous as Andre the Giant.
No. Andre
which
the
is
Giant
weird
was
because he is
dead
bigger.
by
Was
then,
that his
though.
real voice? It couldn't have been.
Yeah, it's his real voice, not his real
No.
accent.
So
He
his
had
voice
to-
is
he
really
had to
that
learn-
deep?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, look at the fucking guy.
Well, yeah, that's
You
true.
know? And you saw the real, in Ed Wood's apartment, there's a death mask of Tor Johnson. That's the actual death mask
Oh.
of Tor Johnson
Oh, wow.
hanging on his wall in that shot.
Oh, that's neat. Someone we haven't mentioned yet, Sarah Jessica Parker.
Yeah, SJP.
SJP makes...
Whoa, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Considering of the next movie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I know. So
Two in a row.
makes-
Go for
makes-
none to two.
It's gonna be the double feature, or it's
Tell you what.
SJP month, I guess.
My wife loves her. Me, not so much.
She doesn't love her, or she does?
She does. She absolutely loves her because she's loves Sex in the City,
right?
all that, and the Family Stone, which is unwatchable,
What's
piece
that?
of trash movie. It's so bad.
Wait, is that the one with fucking what's his name? The dude that I like, Michael Douglas.
What?
Oh, that's Romancing the Stone.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I
No.
was like, what?
Yeah,
Michael
no.
Douglas? No.
What's the Family
It's
Stone?
Craig
Anyway,
T.
we're not-
Robinson. Yeah, don't worry
we're
about
not.
it. It's
we're
okay.
not, yeah. But SJP, she has a funny fucking line in this movie that I don't know who the sadistic bastard is that wrote it, but it was right at the beginning.
Which one?
Where there was after they read the review, and she was like, "Do I really have a face like a horse?" I was like, dude, like really? I hope that was like she was in on that one.
Because she does.
Well, I mean, that's the whole thing. That's what everyone
Yeah.
always says about her. Like,
I've always said.
it's not my thing.
I've always said she has a face like a foot.
I think what is that?
Just think about it.
What the fuck is
Just
that?
think about it.
No,
Think about a foot, and then look at her face, and you're like, yeah, I see what he's saying. I see what he's saying. I get it.
That's all you, man.
I get it.
I don't know what that is, man. V8.
But she was fine in this movie.
Vegetables.
She was interviewed before about this movie, and one of the interviewer asked something about like, did you ever talk to the real Dolores and like to get into character? She goes, why would I ever do that? Yeah, she's like, I don't do that.
SJP said that?
Yeah.
Oh, she's too good. Huh?
Yeah, I'm an actress. I'm gonna do my own thing, even when you're playing a real person. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
So anyway,
yeah, I don't know. You hear all the rumors and whatever. We don't know these people. I'm sure she's a nice person.
she married Inspector Gadget, so
She did.
yeah,
Yes, she
still
did.
is. They've been together for a long
Wait,
time.
what? They're still together?
Yeah.
I thought they divorced for some reason.
No. They're still together.
Oh. What was I gonna say? Yeah, Yeah. Anyway, that's the thing is everyone always says she's a horse face, right?
Yeah, that
Right. I didn't make that up, did I? Or am I just an asshole?
No,
Okay.
that has been a thing.
So yeah, when I heard that, I was like,
here's a good one. The costumes looked.
Yeah. That's how you got to read those reviews, man.
Yeah.
You know, not everyone's gonna like your shit, as we are well aware.
Hey, we've not heard. I've never heard one negative thing about this show.
I know. I'm just kidding. Actually, we just got a really good write up in fucking
Twitter,
Time magazine.
Oh
Yeah.
The failing
Twitter.
Times. No, this is failing New York. I don't even know anymore.
Yeah. No, but so she's in it, and then tune in next week for another SJP surprise.
Yeah.
That was done on accident.
Yeah. Total accident.
But she's now famous. She is now Movie Gap canon, which means she has made it to the big time, baby.
Big times. Congratulations.
Give her a big round of applause from home. Now let's stop.
And she made it before her husband even made it.
Yes, she did.
We've not done a Broderick movie.
He's only done like 4 movies, and I've seen all of them. You know what I mean? I feel like name every Matthew Broderick movie.
The Producers,
Ferris Bueller, Cable Guy,
Inspector Gadget.
Inspector Gadget.
Yeah, The Producers.
I guess.
Was it Christmas with? No, it was Deck the Halls. It was him and Danny DeVito.
Yeah, not gonna watch that. You know, hard pass. So there's no reason to do Matthew Broderick movies.
Yeah. Okay.
As far as I know, I mean,
Just saying,
I've seen all the ones that I
was
think
giving
are worth
her.
it.
I was giving her, a shout out, saying that she made it before her husband. I wasn't trying to shit on Matthew Broderick. I don't know why. You just wanted to shit on Matthew Broderick.
You know why? Because I'm compensating. You know why I'm compensating?
I got a little dick. It's pathetic.
So, no, I'm just kidding. I'm just not a fan of him. But he's great.
You
He
have
seems
not
like a
seen
nice
War
guy.
Games, though, right?
Hmm?
War Games?
No.
That would be a fun episode to do.
That's Broderick?
That is super dated, and yeah. I loved it when I was a
dated.
kid. It is
Really?
fucking, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was pre-internet kind of stuff. Like, it was when you had to take your phone off of the receiver and put it on a modem to call
that's
into.
amazing.
Yeah, it's all about thermonuclear war, man. Would you like to play a game? Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have to do that
Okay.
one. That's a fun one.
All right. But
We're
also,
gonna write it on that board.
also we're female first here, and so of course the wife made it before the husband
Yeah.
because the future's female. So don't you fucking forget that, Chase.
Yep. I thought the future was our children.
No, we are the world. Is actually what it is.
Oh, I thought.
But we also are the children.
I thought I was the walrus.
Ooh, I actually was listening to that on the way here.
I almost wrote a paper on that. I was going to write I'm in a class about. It's a cultural criticism class where we have to learn how to be a skeptic on things and take apart arguments and conspiracy theories. And so I was going to write my paper on the Paul is dead theory.
Oh, cool.
But then it's very much all nonsense.
Yeah, it's
so
all
I was like, I
bullshit.
can't really do that.
It's interesting, though.
I ended up deciding to do mine on the conspiracy theory that COVID-19 is caused by 5G.
Oh, yes.
And that is fun to read about and listen to.
Have you been convinced?
Man. No, it is fucking nonsense.
Yeah.
The Paul is dead stuff, I could get into. I was like, oh, maybe, there's not really proof there, but interesting. That does sound like. I will say that it sounds more like I buried Paul than cranberry sauce than anything makes sense in this fucking 5G.
Really?
Oh, it's just not science.
Yeah,
it's just
right.
made up.
Right.
Yeah. Oh God. It's good. I'll have to send you a link to part of this podcast that I listened to of this doctor, quote unquote doctor, talking about it. It is hilarious.
Okay. It'll probably convince me.
Yeah,
I love
probably.
a good conspiracy theory.
All right. Well, anyway, so let's keep going.
Well, let's get to the fucking meat and potatoes of this fucking movie. Let's stop fucking around, dude, okay? We've bounced around long enough. We've avoided this subject long enough. Mr. Martin Landau as Bela Lugosi.
I love it. I think he's incredible. This is the first time that an actor has won an Academy Award for portraying
Another
a
actor
film star
that has won an Academy Award as well.
Did he win an Academy Award?
Didn't he?
I don't think
I thought he
so.
won for Plan 9.
What? Oh.
He did so good at smelling the flower and dropping it. Was that real footage?
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
The footage that we
Dude.
saw was the recreation, but yeah, that did happen. He really did shoot all that stuff right before he died.
And it was
And
in
then
Plan 9?
Yeah. Oh yeah, everything. In fact, you saw actual footage of the credits of Plan 9 when they're showing it. That's the actual film of the Plan 9. Everything that you see shot is a direct recreation of it.
That's what I was going to ask. That scene in Glenn and Glinda, surely they were trying to do as an exact
it's 100%
of a replication as possible.
In
right?
fact, I think with Plan 9, they tried to find some of the exact props and like make
they did really good with the. I think that might have actually been in the Bride of the Atom, which turned into Bride of the Monster.
Yeah,
but the background set was in the science lab.
Yeah,
was exact.
Yeah.
Because I saw, if you pull up still frames of it from the actual movie, there's like no fucking. They did. I don't know. Whoever remade it.
Well, a lot of that was probably still in, in storage,
just somewhere
on
they
the studio
it.
lots. Yeah, you know.
I mean, I'd be surprised if anyone was hanging on to something that was used.
I don't think it was. It wasn't.
And also,
well, that's also a relatively new thing that people would hang on to props. That didn't come around really until the 80s. Like when the collector boom started, but
no, I meant the studios keeping it in their warehouses
because they were reusing it. Things get reused all the time. We just talked about that on Starship Troopers, how those those armor and stuff is used on all sorts of stuff. So
that's right.
Yeah, especially with a movie that people don't think is going to be a cult hit or something that. Why would somebody want to pay thousands and thousands of dollars for this piece of plastic with no intrinsic value? And it turns out that it was Darth Vader's original helmet, so people do,
Right, right. It has the value in the fact of the context of in which it was used. But anyway, yeah, dude. Dude, he was great. Where have I seen Martin Landau before? I know this is Carrie's favorite part.
Yeah,
I did try to fucking Google it. Okay,
I don't know that you have it. He's mostly famous for like older stuff. I mean, he's a classic actor. Let's see here. He did a lot of TV too. Oh, you know what? He was in the Untouchables TV series.
Okay. See, that was the thing when I did the Amazon thing. It was saying a bunch of shit I'd never.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to know any of his 68.
Somewhere.
Let's see, in the 70s.
Yeah. But anyway, he fucking
he's so good,
dude. He did so good.
Yeah, and he was what was it? In order to imitate his voice and mannerisms, he watched like 35 of Bela Lugosi's movies, and he got a set of Hungarian language tapes and started to like learn Hungarian and would focus on where his tongue and mouth went to say the words that way, so that he could then learn the language or learn the accent through the actual
language,
speaking the actual language, which is how an accent is formed.
Yeah, right.
And so there was a Hungarian director, Peter Medik. He saw the movie and called him to praise him because of its spot on Hungarian accent. He said that you're not an American actor trying to do a Hungarian accent. You're a character trying not to do one. Yeah. So it's sort of like this Hungarian guy trying to be
not
American or
Hungarian.
Transylvanian. Yeah. So he thought it was brilliant.
Yeah. Well, he did.
And just he does the hands
so well.
And everything he does is heartbreaking too. And him, with his addiction to morphine and all that stuff from it's sad.
Dude,
sad
there was such great directing from Burton and so many parts with him. I mean, he what do you call it? He walked the fine line of like, doing the Dracula tribute really well in just enough of a subtle way, but also just enough of an obvious way to where you knew that that's what he was doing, but it also just looked good for the aesthetic of the film and stuff.
Yeah.
Like when he was in his that one shot in particular, like the coffin was one thing.
The introduction to
which was just great. But when he was in the rehab, and Depp comes in, or Wood comes in to see him, and then he gets up. He does the camera angle like you're seeing Dracula get up. And I mean, and then there's that scene when he was talking about wanting to kill himself, and he sat down in that chair, and the Burton just fucking killed it with the angles and the lighting,
and then the score that they use every time that there's that dramatic stuff happening to Bela Lugosi's character, to Bella. That is the adaptation of the Swan Lake song that was the theme for the Dracula movie.
Oh,
so, and it's tweaked a little bit here and there to work in this movie, but that's what that was. And like that sad song, on top of it, Burton does an incredible job on this movie, and it doesn't feel super Burton,
right?
That he got. It's almost like he got out of his own way.
Yeah,
it wasn't like where Edward Scissorhands. It's like, this is what I saw,
right,
and this is it. Like, this is much more. It's almost like Ed Wood directing. If Ed Wood could direct, it's how he saw his life picture,
right?
The Citizen Kane of that is Ed Wood.
There's only really one true Burton-y part, and that's when they went to the scare house.
Yeah.
And then that's like the only true.
And even that
Burton
is kind of real,
pretty subdued.
Like an old scared house would be like tacky designs.
Pretty
and stuff,
subdued. But that was just a great scene too, where it shut down, and he took the opportunity to just be like, "Well, first date, fuck it, I'm gonna let this lady know." Yeah. And then as soon as she says, "Okay," the ride starts back up, and then they go. And
it's like right where the Dracula thing is. Sweet. And it's right where the Dracula dummy is,
Yeah.
And remember when he first meets Bella, he goes, "You want to take a girl to see Dracula on a date?"
Yeah, that's right.
So she cuddles up next to you. So when she cuddled up next to him, right there, that's when he was like, "Now's my time." So it's like, it kind of, I just got goosebumps thinking about it.
Oh,
now see it?
Yeah, I didn't get that. That was, or I missed that.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, really good, man. Dude, good job, Tim Burton, man. Like, if you're like, dude, I just want to say, like, mad props to you, Timmy. Okay.
This is a great film.
Just so you know.
He does. God, I just love this movie so much.
I like it too. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Martin Landau does great. We got to mention his rant against Boris Karloff.
Yeah,
that was fucking hilarious. Where he says Karloff is a cocksucker. That was fucking so funny, dude.
So one thing is, Bela Lugosi.
He goes, what did he say? He doesn't deserve to smell my shit.
Bela Lugosi Jr. His chief objection to this movie. So one thing
he feels that his family feels that Ed was actually exploiting
somewhat,
Bella.
some not,
which he probably was, man.
Well, but people say that like.
But Ed also was a massive fan of Bela Lugosi in real life.
He really did get him through some withdrawals. Like, he took him to the plate. Like, that's all real.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, there is part of it. He did have a wife at the time, though.
What an amazing story!
He had been remarried.
Oh, gotcha.
When he died.
But what an amazing story, though.
Yeah, I mean, he met his.
He's struggling.
Like, his idol.
No one knows who the fuck he is. He meets his idol and befriends him, and gets Bela Lugosi to be in his shitty movies, dude. Bela Lugosi stars in Bride of the Atom.
Yeah.
That's fucking weird. That'd be like if Brad Pitt just everyone fucking forgot about him when he turned 70 and just ended up in some random B movies, and it's like, that's Brad fucking Pitt.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost like
so incredible. But anyway,
it's almost like a if it happened today with like Nicolas Cage or something,
right? Which it so easily could.
Yeah, that's why I threw that out there.
So
like,
see that happening.
Maybe
we should just go meet Nicolas Cage and get him to, dude. Yeah. Yep. Well, Gary Busey,
he's doing Amazon commercials.
He is.
They did a bunch of Amazon Fire commercials.
Amazon Fire.
Yeah. It's with the Lexus remote or whatever, and he's like, "Oh, show me this!" And, oh my god!
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's
oh boy!
Bad. But yeah. So
Alexa,
what Bela Lugosi Jr. their biggest objection though was how crass Bella talked in the movie, like his curse words. He said that his dad was classy and would never use curse words. So like that apparently is something that they said was made up. And that's been corroborated.
Funny.
But
and then later on, fucking Ben or fucking Bill Murray with his when they get We didn't even talked about the Seinfeld, but when they get the guy to replace him, the lookalike or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like fucking they're all kind of like
God, like doesn't look like him at all.
Yeah, they're all kind of like, nah, I'm not really, I don't like it. And he's doing his impression, and then Bill Murray's like, yeah, well, let's hear you call Boris Karloff a cocksucker. That was great.
Well, and also he goes, watch when he covers his face, he looks just like him. He goes, but Bella's not bald.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like, well, put a wig on him. But yeah, so there are a few obvious Seinfeld connections here.
Which were they? I don't remember.
Well, you got to remember Bella's replacement.
Okay, yeah, the dentist guy is the guy with the fatigues.
Yes.
Yeah, I knew that.
And then there's another one that's not so obvious from let's just
Who was it? Who were they in the movie?
So he wasn't that big of a role in the movie. He was one of the lackeys of Ed. He was one of the crew members.
Uh-huh.
And let's just say he ran a fruit stand in Seinfeld that banned Kramer and Jerry.
Was it Joe?
Yeah.
Joe's fruit stand?
Yeah. Anyway,
I didn't recognize that.
That's probably only interesting to us.
Yeah. Well, yeah. If anybody listens to our podcast, they're clearly fans.
Yeah, sure.
They know.
Sure.
They listen to this with bated breath to hear who was in Seinfeld.
Yeah. And then there was like another one or some shit, I forget. But anyway, I don't know. What do you want to do? You want to introduce our new
Well, before
feature?
that, I was going to say,
give us numbers and shit.
So, Vincent D'Onofrio has a cameo as Orson Welles, but that's not his voice. That is a voice that you would recognize.
We forgot to talk about that.
Yeah.
So that was not a real meeting, right?
No, that didn't happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of course.
But
I'm just saying it would have been incredible, right?
The voice,
wouldn't that have been fucking incredible?
Yeah. I mean, I think there's something that Ed wrote about it, but like it's not. It probably didn't happen or
no
something.
No fucking way.
Yeah, and plus,
even if he said it, I wouldn't.
And he wouldn't
have
said anything like that because Orson had so many problems with how much of a perfectionist he was about Citizen Kane. He couldn't ever watch it because he hated it.
Yeah,
because he's like, oh, I forgot to take my watch off here. It ruins everything.
Yeah,
he was so obsessive about because it all came down on his head on that movie. And a fantastic movie if you've never seen it. You should definitely see it.
But Ed
I was talking to them.
Ed wants to do them, yeah. Well, we might do an episode on it though, because doesn't Ed want to do an episode?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I don't think he's
never seen it.
Yeah, but yeah, but the voice of Orson Welles is actually Maurice LaMarche, famous for voiceover acting.
Why you said I would know the
Maurice LaMarche? He's done. He was.
Why did you assume that I would know this guy?
Brain from Pinky and the Brain, along with thousands of Simpsons and Futurama and Animaniacs, all that stuff.
I knew it, dude. I was watching that shit. I was like, no way. I was like, if that's D'Onofrio really doing that impression, then kudos to him because it was great.
Yeah, and Brain is essentially Orson Welles' impression. Yeah. So the only other thing I wanted to say,
the Pinky and the Cane.
The only other thing I wanted to say was a shout out to
like Citizen Kane, directed by Orson Welles.
There you go.
Do you get it, Chase?
Yeah, I get it. I was gonna say shout out to Juliette Landau.
Is that Martin Landau's daughter or some shit?
It's his daughter.
It really is. Yeah. Okay.
And she's from Buffy.
Oh, what else have I maybe seen her in? Because I definitely didn't see her in Buffy.
That's it.
She looks so familiar.
In Buffy. I mean, she's been in some other stuff, I think, but that's what she's famous for.
Gotcha.
And actually, Joss Whedon saw this movie and was like, "Oh, I'm gonna put her."
Oh, that's
Buffy.
cool. That's cool.
So
you never know who's watching, kids.
Yep.
All you got to do is get on a movie with Johnny Depp and Tim Burton, and
because
the world's your oyster.
Because your dad's in it. Yeah.
Because your fucking dad is in it, dude.
Yeah.
No, she was great though.
So
Small part. Oh, and then let's give Vampire an honorable mention there. Lisa Marie, not Lisa Marie Presley.
No, not Lisa Marie Presley. She's a model. She's also in Sleepy Hollow and Mars Attacks.
Oh,
and
so Tim Burton liked her.
Yeah, and then I think she's in Planet of the Apes too. The Tim Burton Planet of the Apes. I think he worked with her for a while.
When did Tim Burton do Planet of the Apes?
Like 2000?
With Marky Mark?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, is it
that
good?
Was no.
Oh,
it's not.
That sucks.
But the real Vampira did sue Elvira.
Yes, I
for
saw
stealing
that.
her thing and lost. I think they put that in the epilogue at the end.
Did they?
Yeah, but
That's right.
so
they
the real Vampira, fell on hard times after getting fired and everything like that, and her career fell apart. And then she was found.
Yeah, she started doing movies with
She was
Ed
more or
Wood.
less, found by fans. Piggy D from Rob Zombie's band.
Okay.
Is a huge horror fan.
White Zombie.
Yeah, he's a huge horror fan, and so is comedian Dana Gould.
Mm-hmm.
And he's specifically like that whole era of 70s stuff because he's like a big Planet of the Apes fan too. But anyway,
Gotcha.
they found out like her predicament, and she was like having trouble with money and all that kind of stuff, and they basically helped her out for the last few years of her life. It's sort of like
that's nice.
Bella,
Like Bella.
yeah,
Oh,
like Ed
wow.
did with Bella. So
Oh, wow.
anyway, I just thought that was an interesting
It is interesting.
add-on. So
Yeah.
all right, you ready for some numbers?
Lisa Marie does great. Just shout out to her.
Yeah.
It was funny when
Oh, yeah, that's true that she said, I don't want to say anything in this movie. So he wrote her mute for the
that really
playback.
happened because she was so depressed that that's what her career had come to. That's fucking funny.
Yeah. Yep.
But good old Ed, he was like, okay,
Yeah,
whatever,
that works.
let's go.
Absolutely.
But that shit was hilarious though. Oh, one thing, why the fuck was the crowd so wild at the premiere?
I don't know. I was
That
trying
made
to.
no sense at all.
I think it was just because it's not like it was a shady part of town, and like I don't know if
that was the
supposed
only
to
part of the
be-
movie I didn't really like. I was
Yeah,
like,
and I've
there's
never
no
read.
motivation
I didn't read
here.
anything about that. I think it's just supposed to be that like these are not people that are going to see a movie. They're going to
Yeah,
be unruly.
sure.
And then like
But the kid grabbing her boobs or whatever,
Yeah.
and then the next day he's like, or Ed Wood's like, did you see that kid grab Vampira's boobies? And Bella's like, I wish I was the kid, or whatever the fuck he said. It's like so, like Ed Wood just saying it like, hey, did you see that? Like so innocent or whatever.
yeah.
I don't know. It was just funny. Anyway, yeah, we can get into the numbers and shit.
All right.
That's all. I have to say.
Yeah. The budget was an estimated $18 million.
$18,000.
$18,000.
Yeah.
So this budget, by the way, is way more than the combined budget of all of Ed Wood's movies. $18 million is more.
I
Yeah.
assumed as such.
Yeah.
He
did
the whole
like
thing,
50
the whole
fucking
movie,
movies.
The whole movie was about him constantly struggling to get a budget
Yeah.
for his movies and like scamming
Yeah, I
people
love what he's
basically
like,
to get
"The
money.
Stupid Baptists. or
Yeah.
whatever."
Yeah.
And straight up just lying to him.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
like,
yeah.
he had no qualms with it.
Right.
And I love how they
That
wanted
was
to
interesting though.
They
He was
wanted
hustling.
to do. Yeah, he knew what he
you
was
know?
doing.
Yeah.
And he's
it was
like,
interesting
it
to
was.
see.
It wasn't a bad idea. Like, if you want
Right.
to make a movie,
He's like, dude,
you have to
just
finance
gotta
that movie with the
Right.
next movie. So it's
Right.
like, you make a
So
genre
let me
picture
make this
first.
one. Yeah, yeah.
I just love the idea of this small Baptist church that wants to make movies. They don't know how.
Yeah.
And they're like, we want to make one movie for each of the 12 disciples. Snore.
Yeah. Exactly. But he saw that bad idea, saw an opportunity to get some funding.
Yeah.
And it was
They were not
interesting to
happy.
see how the business worked. I mean, it was interesting to see him run into that problem of like, every person that gave him money had their own demands on
Yeah.
what had to be, and it's like that's how that fucking works.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a nice, concise and clear depiction of how the business works. It was like it down to the bare bones of it.
Yeah.
You know?
So let's get to this. $18 million. All right. This did
It's pretty
not
small.
This did not have a worldwide release. This is just domestic.
Oh.
So the opening weekend was the 2nd of October, 1994. What do you think it did?
3 million.
71,000. I'm not saying that wrong.
Oh.
71,566.
And that was with a wide release.
Yeah.
A nationwide release.
I mean, I don't know. I don't have that information. I just know that
Or was
that's
that a
the opening
limited
weekend.
release?
Could have been limited.
Okay.
But
to have been.
nationwide gross, the whole run.
Uh-huh.
What do you think it did?
5 million?
Yeah, $5,887,457.
I fucking nailed it,
You
dude,
were-
for the
yeah.
first time.
You were within 100 million. I mean, you were within a million.
I was within
You were
100
a
million.
couple
Yeah.
100,000 is what I meant. 800,000. So yeah.
Damn, so it bombed.
Yeah, this movie was not a moneymaker, but like I said, it's not meant to be. It was.
Sure.
It was a A critical
It was an
darling. It
art
was supposed to be an
piece.
award
An
winner. Get
award.
that? Yeah.
An award season. It came out in December or some shit.
October.
Yeah. There you go.
So-
Award season.
Yeah, it's I mean, I love this movie. So I'm going to introduce a new category. So along with your rating,
Mm-hmm.
I want you to give us from now on. So like, let's get your rating first off. Let's do that.
Well, don't tell me what the new category
Well,
is.
we'll do it after. You already know.
Well,
what
you
it
tell
is.
me what the new fucking category
Well,
is.
it's got to have a. I want to be able to have a
all right.
separate thing for
All right,
it.
my rating. Oh, okay. Out of 10, and I got kind of lazy on this one. I just said Vampira boobies. I give it 9 Vampira boobies.
There you go.
I liked it a lot.
All right.
I enjoyed
So
myself.
that being said, this new rating system I want you to do on top of it is watch it or what a wait, what did you
no, it's gonna blow it.
Yeah,
It's worth it or worst shit?
there it is. Worth
Yeah.
it or worse shit.
Wow,
So-
I wish I had some time to prepare.
Yeah,
for this
new
Chase.
segment is worth it or worth shit. That worth it or worse shit.
Actually, that kind of works too.
Yeah.
Is it worth it or is it worth shit?
Yeah.
But worth it or
So
worst
the whole
shit?
idea is it worth seeing
Uh-huh.
or is it just
the
the
worst,
worst shit?
that
Yeah.
you've ever seen? I give it worth it.
worth it?
Yes,
There you
big
go.
time. Big
All
time.
right.
Definitely worth it. Go check it out if you haven't seen it. I enjoyed myself. And Chase, what would you give it?
Oh, am I doing a ratings now too?
Out of worth it or worst
worth it.
shit?
Worth it, 100%. I
Yeah.
love this movie. I think it's great. I think it is, especially if you're a cinephile, like if you love film, you love, the story behind film. This is a great one. And just anything that has to do with making movies and people who are excited about making movies, and just for the art of it. It's like a love letter to cinema. I know that gets thrown around a lot.
There could be some little Ed
But-
Woods out there that want to be
Yeah.
famous directors one day, and they can watch this and be warned
Yeah.
of the.
I mean, I'm
heroes
not
of
gonna
it,
lie.
and also be taught
I
how
used to make
do some
I
good
used to
directing.
make stop motion animation movies with my action figures.
Loser
with my brother and
everyone hit Chase
actually
with a loser in
actually
the comments.
my friend that made that Wilson that you talked about
Oh,
earlier.
yeah.
We used to make stop motion animation action figure movies, and they were better than the Ed Wood movies.
No.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's at least they were like 12 minutes long.
Were they
So
better?
that helped.
Were they better than our YouTube videos?
You be the judge.
You be the judge. So fuck your stop motion animation movies.
I wish I
They
could find those. They were
probably
so
sucked.
good.
Actually, yeah, if you can find them, we'll upload them on the Instagram.
Yeah.
How about that? So yeah, that's what I got. Do you want to just go right into a reboot recast?
Yeah. This is
Because this is a new thing with taking a break. I don't know what we'll do with on video.
I do. We'll talk about it, but yeah,
Okay.
we don't need to take a break here.
Okay.
Let's just go right into it
All right.
and get to the reboot recast.
Recast.
God damn it, Bryce.
Oh my gosh.
You're the worst.
I fucked up.
So, who are we gonna recast here? I lost my place.
Well, I think we should recast
Obviously, Ed Wood and
grip number 3.
yeah, starting with that.
Clearly.
I want to do Ed Wood and Bella.
Yep.
I mean, that's really all we need to do.
Yeah.
Unless as we're talking, maybe something will come up,
Yeah.
but we're actually kind of running long on time anyway. So
Yeah, we're doing all right.
yeah. So let's. Who do you think would be a good Bella Lugosi?
Well, do they have to be alive?
Yes. If we're
That was a dumb question. Of course they have to be alive. But you're going to come at me with some age bullshit, aren't
well,
you?
I mean, they need to be up there. Yeah.
So what you're saying is that you wouldn't like to see Johnny Depp try to do the role
No, he's not
and
old
come
enough
back
yet.
full
Yeah.
circle. Well,
not old
fuck
enough
it
yet.
then. I got no one.
I mean, that it would be
Because of
interesting.
your ageism.
It would be interesting to see that happen, but I don't think he's right for that part
Yeah.
either. I
Okay.
mean, you could do pretty good makeup, especially since he already looks like a corpse
Yeah,
right now. He really does. He looks
shots
bad.
fired. We got to get a shots fired, or look what we'll do with a video post. Shots fired, and all the kids will be into it.
Yeah, we also need to get the
All the
cry
fucking
while
dudes.
you're high, cry.
Oh yes, we do. Yeah, that's right. Oh man, we need to get that soundbite. All right. Yeah, thanks for reminding me.
And a real
Go back and listen to whatever,
Rage Hamlet moment.
whatever. Whatever episode that was. Go back and listen to all of our episodes.
Yeah. Cry When You're High was
What was that?
that was
Stand by
Stand
Me.
by Me, yeah.
That's right. Yeah. That was fun.
which had River Phoenix, who died at the Viper Room, which you could see from Johnny Depp's house,
Depp,
which that house was previously owned by
Bela Lugosi.
Bela Lugosi.
Also, died. Johnny Depp was there when River died.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
sad. Very sad.
Yeah, so my Bela Lugosi thought was Patrick Stewart.
Oh, I like it. But Bela Lugosi's not bald.
Yeah, well, put a wig on him. That's why Patrick Stewart started being bald. So
Got
the
you
wigs.
there. Fucking
Yeah,
asshole.
either that or Ian McKellen too. I think.
Ian McKellen, hands down.
Yeah, I think
Hands
Ian McKellen
down.
might be.
He even looks more
Isn't
like
Ian
it.
McKellen really, really tall though, or am I just thinking that because
but he
of
has
Lord
the
of the Rings?
lankiness and he has the
Yeah.
eyebrows.
Yeah, but Patrick Stewart is
has some
also
killer brows.
he's also really small and frail now,
I think
and they're both. I mean, they're both incredible actors.
I think Patrick Stewart would be a better casting for Nosferatu.
because he's bald.
Right.
Patrick Stewart could play
And
the
frail.
chiropractor.
Right. I like Ian McKellen better for that. Actually,
right.
that's what
Yeah.
I'm going with. That's
Okay.
what I'm going with.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, I can't argue with either one of those because I
Right.
came up with both of them.
Right. Right.
All right. So who is your Ed Wood?
This is tough.
Yeah. Yeah. It's actually right in the wheelhouse.
I don't know
of when we
anyone
always.
that's that age now.
I mean, what? He's like 40.
well, not when he did this movie.
How old? God, yeah. This was
He
like
was in his
4 years.
20s.
It was like 4 years.
Or
no,
maybe
he was like 30.
30.
Yeah, because it was like 4 years after Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah.
So he's probably like 30.
I mean,
Yeah,
this
because I was thinking somebody that would be really good, but it's definitely too old. Was
Too
Sam
old.
Rockwell?
too old.
Yeah, but he's too
Even
old.
I got to pull the ages shit on that one.
You know what could? Let me think. I mean, he's so short, but I feel like he could do fun things with it. Is Daniel
Danny
Radcliffe?
DeVito? I like that.
I mean, he is
a lot.
very underrated. I think.
I think
I've seen
so
him
too.
in some good
He's
stuff.
really come into his own.
Yeah.
He's very funny, and I think he can do ironic, whimsical, playful shit.
Yeah.
I love it. I think you just crushed it, dude. I can't believe I fucking totally forgot about him, but I think you
Yeah.
crushed it.
And he's like perfect age.
I'm going with the Rad,
Yeah,
baby.
I think that would be fun. Him and then
Daniel the
McKellen.
Rad Roach Radcliffe, baby.
Let me see here if there's anybody that pops off the top of my head
For what?
for other parts.
Well,
in
wait.
here.
Can Danny Rads do an American accent?
Yeah.
Oh, Harry Potter. I forgot.
Yeah, Harry Potter.
An entire
You
fucking.
did.
My bad. So silly.
You know what? I don't know. I'm trying to think if he. I'm sure I've heard him do it, but like,
did you
I
see
can't
the
think of
new
anything.
Kimmy Schmidt interactive movie?
Yeah, I loved it.
I loved it too.
Yeah.
It was fucking awesome, and he.
At first, I hated it, and then I got into it.
Yeah, it was great.
And I went through the whole thing
That's
4
just like
times.
that might be one of my top 5 favorite shows ever, though.
Really?
I fucking love that
Man,
show.
I really enjoyed it, and then it kind of fell off.
I
and then
know
got
a lot
back
of
on.
people did. I was for some reason that's just one of those things, one of those shows that whatever they've done, I'm like on the train, baby.
Yeah.
Like I fucking love it. Anyway,
I thought that this was a lot of fun.
it was, man. It was
so.
great. I was very happy to see that, and Radcliffe crushed it.
Yeah.
He was very funny. But anyway,
Yeah, so
I mean,
that
we could recast Dolores if we wanted to.
I mean,
Julia Garner or whatever her name is.
Julia Garner.
What's her name from Mozart? I mean,
What?
Ozarks.
Mozart?
Ozark.
Ozark.
Julia Garner.
Oh, I thought you were
Ruth.
saying. I thought you were thinking Jennifer Garner.
No.
And I was like,
She could be
Julia
Vampira,
Garner.
maybe.
Yeah, maybe. What is it? Julia Garner? Is that her
I
name
think it
or
is. Look it up
Garber?
real quick. It's Garner. The last name is Garner. The first name is a J. Maybe it is Gardner. Oh no, I'm pretty sure it's Garner.
Hold on, I'm looking at it. This is fascinating. It
Stick with
is.
Tune in
Yeah,
live.
you're right, Julia Garner.
That's it.
Yeah.
You're
right.
welcome.
And whatever, I think that's great casting.
All right, cool. We did it.
We did it.
Okay, that's enough.
And let's see here.
Plugs.
So you have anything to plug, Bryce?
Yeah, Jody C. Budding the Whirls. Check us out on iTunes, Spotify. By now, I believe our new EP will be everywhere streaming.
Yep.
And not just Bandcamp, so you can go check that out everywhere. And then also go check out Station Theater's YouTube while you're at it. There's a lot of fun videos on there as well.
As always, check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Movie Gap. And now, waving to you if you're watching, check us out on YouTube as well.
That's right.
To get some shots of our pretty faces.
See what we
to
actually
match our
look like.
pretty
You've
voices.
been listening this whole time like, oh, I wonder what these guys look like.
Well,
What,
now
who-
you-
whose
now you know.
voice is whose?
Now you know.
Oh.
Yeah.
And now you know, baby, mystery solved.
Yeah.
H-Time, hold
I mean, it
on.
felt like a crime. It felt like a crime to hide this behind.
We didn't
I was
want to
gonna say radio,
We
but
couldn't.
it's not
yeah,
radio.
like you know that. Yeah, like that saying, a face for radio. Well, we
Yeah.
got faces for the fucking big screen, baby.
Yeah, or at least
and it's a
your
shame
phone.
that we're fucking hiding it from you guys
Yeah.
this whole time. So here we are. You're welcome.
All right. You got anything else to say? Anything else to do?
I
We'll
love
be back
you.
next week, and definitely check back in.
Oh, that's cool. You can
coming
just
up
ignore
very
it like
soon
that. That's cool.
is our
No, you don't have
2-year
to say it back. It's fine.
anniversary.
You don't have to say it
Our
back.
2-year anniversary. What did you say?
Nothing is fine.
Okay, I thought I heard something.
Yeah.
All right. Bryce.
2-year anniversary coming
I
up.
love you too. And that wraps it up for this week's episode. Numb in space. What?
Cut and print.